What's going on, legends? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're jumping into Call of Duty Vanguard, and we're going to be talking about how to increase your accuracy and overall recoil control for those of you that are looking to improve or maybe just struggling at this and just want some tips and tricks. Now, if you are one of those people that are out there wondering, how does my favorite streamer or content creator just look like they have no recoil? How do the pro players do it? Well, the reality is it's just a lot of practice, and I'm going to share with you guys today how exactly you guys can practice that, or at least learn the recoil patterns for yourself. You can be more accurate with your favorite weapons. Now, as you guys can see here, I'm sitting in a private match because that's exactly where you guys are going to be. You're going to jump into a private match. You don't need any bots. You don't need anyone. You're going to take the weapon of your choice and you're going to go up to any sort of wall that you would like. I specifically choose walls that are non-destructible. As you guys are going to see here, we're going to fire at it without controlling the recoil whatsoever, just so we can see what the recoil pattern is for this weapon. Now, I'm actually going to go ahead and do the STG first because I know it's a very popular gun, and I do have the MP40 with us as well, so we can actually try out both. But the recoil is actually not too bad, even though I am running no attachments with either of the weapons, because I think it shows more justice to what we're trying to kind of prove here today. Now, some people do complain how close I am to the wall, so I will do another example a little bit further away, just for those of you that might be more interested in that too. So as you guys can see here, we're going to go ahead and spray at the wall. I'm not going to control recoil with my thumbstick as well, or if you guys are on mouse and keyboard, I'm not going to pull down on the mouse to control the recoil at all, if that's what you're going to be doing. So we're just going to see what this thing has to offer. As you guys can see, this recoil pattern is really not too crazy. It's not too far up, but this is exactly my point. So just by doing this, we can see that it does have recoil up and just slightly to the right. So we're going to know when we're using this weapon, even though this is with no attachments, we're just going to pull down slightly. And I don't think we're going to have to pull to the right or down to the left to compensate for the right too much or at all possibly. But overall, here's going to be the difference with the same gun when you're trying to control the recoil. And by doing this, again, we're just understanding that recoil control or that recoil pattern so that we know how to control it, I should say. And that way we're going to hold down a little bit here and we're going to see how much this kind of differs from our first pattern. So here we go. And as you guys can see, we're already holding it pretty steady. We have a literal round spot on that wall here. Much cleaner, much more accurate. So every weapon's obviously going to have a different pattern, and I'm going to show you guys the MP40 here too. So if you are struggling with a specific weapon or a weapon that has more recoil and you want to learn how to better control it, maybe you're going for camos and you're struggling, this is going to be the way to do it. Let's go ahead and jump over here with our MP40. Let's go ahead and aim at this wall. Again, this is without me controlling any of the recoil whatsoever. Let's go ahead and see what this recoil pattern looks like. This is a much more reasonable pattern to deal with. See, now that actually shows quite a bit more recoil than we got with our STG, which is kind of interesting. So again, it is mostly vertical recoil and a little bit to the right. So we know when we're using this weapon, we might have to compensate a little bit down to the left, but mostly it's going to be down, and we can actually straighten out our aim with this. Let's go ahead and replicate the same exact thing. But again, let's try to control that recoil and see what we can do. Yep, and by holding, we're able to control it way better. Again, we have a pretty similar pattern to we got the second time with the STG, keeping it pretty rounded and pretty even. So as you guys can see, just by doing this, you can see the recoil patterns and actually learn to adjust your aim when using those weapons to be able to be significantly more accurate. Now, obviously, I did this with no attachments because I wanted it to be as realistic as possible. When you're using attachments, you guys can go in and test as well. Maybe you can see how much those quote-unquote attachments that help recoil, if they actually do. This is going to be the place to test it out. So you guys can jump in, try the different weapons that you would like, and obviously learn to best control that recoil specifically for those weapons. Now, this obviously works for any weapon that you would like to do. Obviously, certain aspects, you might not need to do it. I don't know why you would do it with sniper rifles unless you're trying to see what the recoil pattern is for a hip fire, but you're going to see it's pretty inconsistent. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, you're really close to the wall here, so how do we know that's a real justification? Now, you can do this in any place. I'm going to go ahead and do it here. I'm going to try to do it right next to my original pattern so I have space. I'm a little bit further away. Obviously, same thing. Now, the recoil pattern is going to be obviously drastic compared to what we were looking at just now, but same thing applies. And as you can see, it went up and then it went all the way crazy to the right. We're going to try to see if we can control it again just by trying to learn that same pattern. I'm going to try to hold down and maybe a little bit to the left as those bullets kind of progress through the magazine. So a little bit, less control. We're not using attachments. You guys got to cut me a break there. But as you can see, we were able to kind of keep it at least in the same area or realm of the same area, which is kind of important here. Overall, I think you guys get what I'm trying to prove here. And I think if you guys dive into these private matches for yourself, you guys will be able to further understand the recoil that you are trying to control better. And then you guys will be in good shape. But that's going to wrap things up for us here. Before I leave you guys, though, if you guys do enjoy this content anytime or find this video helpful in any way, make sure to show your support for the channel by going down below and smashing that like button. Go ahead and let me know as well if this helped you down in the comment section. I'm interested to know how much these videos actually impact your guys' ability to kind of improve at the game. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all the support on the channel. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.